Hey guys, how's it going? Just wanted to check in with you guys and see how everybody's doing and tell you about what happened today, what's going on. Just was really encouraged. This morning we started off with a men's King's men's breakfast, and we had a breakfast, and we opened up with with expectations, and our expectations were just blown out of the water. They were just met by just incredible things that just happened. We got to hear a lot of testimony today. We got to break bread and just talk with one another. Got to know a lot of different people today. It was amazing. It was quite the turnout for those of you that came. It was a pretty amazing time. I'm so glad to have been a part of that and to continue to see in what God is doing here in King's Chapel, Antioch. But anyways, like I said, just wanted to check in and let you guys know what's happening. But anyways, after we after we did the men's breakfast, I went out, kind of finished up a little bit later, and was just like, I just felt like just taking a nap and just wanted to go and lay down and chill out for a little bit. But as I did that, God just started to really put on my heart to head down to this place called Restore in down in Walnut Creek. So I decided to jump in my truck and drive 20-30 minutes down there to go and see what I was going to Restore for. My main purpose there was to go and to find a chair so we can start doing, we're doing production videos with our media team and just going to be sharing more testimony. But as I did that, as I got to a stoplight, there was something that happened. A maroon Jeep drove by, and I felt like God just really started pressing on my heart to give my mom a call and just tell her some things. So I called my mom, and one thing led to another, and I just, told her that she keeps talking about vehicles or whatever, and I just, told her and said, hey, just go and get a vehicle. I feel like you just, not only do you deserve it, you just need to sometimes you just got to do it. So in the process, it was just talking with her and exchanging words. And as I made it down to Walnut Creek, I got down to this place called Restore. And when I was in Restore, I was sitting there shopping for a chair. I'm actually looking for a chair that we can do like a film production on, so we can interview people and have them share testimony. But during that time, that chair was gone, so I started looking for another chair, a chair for my desk, one with wheels, and for my desk here. And as I was doing that, I noticed there was another guy shopping for a chair as well. And he kept shopping for a chair, and I kept looking at chairs. There's a lot of desk chairs to choose from, so we just kept going back and forth and crossing paths. He was FaceTiming with his girlfriend or his wife, either or, I'm not sure, but he kept asking her, what do you like this one? Do you like this one? Do you like this one? And God just started downloading a bunch of stuff into me, like at that time, as we just kept crossing paths and trying out chairs, seeing which chair is comfortable. And then as we did that, we were about to finish up. He brings his chair up to the front to go and check out. And so I rolled my chair down there to go and check out, and I'm right behind him. And as he was checking out, he sat on the chair. I sat on my chair, and he was like, let me make sure that this is the one. I said, yeah, it's got to be pretty comfortable, right? I was like, I love the way that the chair that I sit in, the way I feel in it. It keeps my back nice and straight. And then he was like, yeah, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on it, doing a lot of this, right? And I was like, yeah, man. It's gonna be spending a lot of time in that chair. That's right. So one thing led to another, and I was like, yeah, just getting in this new chair for my desk. Just getting into this media stuff or what have you not. And he was like, oh. And I was like, I started talking about that a little bit. But as soon as we said something, I just felt like I just really needed to just start talking to him about God. And then I just told him, I said, man, you've loved Jesus for a long time, right? And he was like, yeah, man, born and raised. I've loved God my whole life. I've known about Jesus my whole life. And then we started talking. And then one thing led to another. And I just kept going off and just telling him what I was feeling in my heart. And he was just like, yeah, man. And then we started talking a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And then next thing you know it, this is actually when we started talking about production and film and media. And I was telling him this is what I'm going in. And he was like, you know what's crazy? He was like, I own a production company, a media production company. And he's like, that's what I do. Like I do filming and all this stuff and what have you not. And at one point I heard him mention and start talking about cameras. He was like, me and my wife or my girlfriend have been talking about, we want to help someone out and that needs help, that needs a camera or something like that. We have a couple of cameras that we might be parting off with. So I started talking to him just a little bit more, and I was like, oh man, that's great. And I told him about what I was doing and what we're doing here at the church, and started talking about vlogging, and he had a little bit more information about that. And then he started to tell me about this camera that he uses and how awesome it is. It was a Sony camera, and I was like, dude, I'm just switching over to Sony. That's crazy that he said that. So he gave me all the information on this camera that he's using, and I looked it up, and I was like, wow, this is like kind of just what I'm looking for. But anyways, after I got done sharing with him about the Lord, we went off our own ways. I went and loaded up my chair. Then I decided to go help him load his table or something. By that time, his table was already loaded. So I started talking to him a little bit more. And I said, man, you know, just the power of God is all over you. I was like, it's all over you, man. You just have this thing about you. And we started talking. I gave him a word, and I went there for a different chair, ended up with a chair for my desk, and ended up talking to this guy who's in media and production in Berkeley, California, and got to just share with him. And he's gave me his number. He's gonna help me with some of the stuff that's going on and give me some tech tips and pointers. So just the simple obedience of what happens when God puts something on your heart and you decide to go. In the process, I got to call my mom and tell her what was on my heart. And then I got to just encourage this other guy that I ran into randomly at the store shopping for a desk chair. And in that time, God just started to download stuff and started to pour stuff into me to share with him. And it started resonated with him, and it was just it was amazing. It was just such an amazing feeling, you know, when you walk in something like that, and then you just know it's from God, and you know that all of this stuff starts happening when you become obedient. Not only did I get to go to a men's breakfast this morning, but I got to call my mom and encourage her and share with her what God was downloading into me. And then I got to go to this place called Restore and Conquer, Walnut Creek. I got to encourage this other kid who's been going through it. He just had a kid, his kid's turning 1 year old. And he said, you know, due to this whole COVID stuff, I've shied away from the church, but I still love God. And that's just part of the stuff that I was telling him about, that God was downloading into me. I said, you never strayed very far from God, because you know where your source comes from. You know who allows you to do all of this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I said, man, God is just, they got to encourage him about, you know, Hebrews 10:25, do not forsake the gathering of the church. You know, to get back into church. He just moved from Oakland to Berkeley, and I'm so excited about what God is doing. Not only did I get to do that today, I got to connect with an old buddy today. I got to call one of my buddies and talk to him for about an hour. One of my really good buddies from Alaska, and just got to share a story with him. And he's one of my closer friends. He's one of my closest friends who I've spent a lot of time with in Anchorage. My buddy Martin, and I was just talking with him, and it's been a couple years since I've talked to him. He was actually the guy who dropped me off to a rehab center right before I went into rehab, so he got to see me at the worst of my worst. And that's the first time I really caught up with him in 2.5 years, and he just said, man, what are you doing? Like, where are you at these days? And I got to explain to him, I'm in California, man. I'm living the California dream. That's what everybody thinks, but really it's a lot of work, and it's not all ski resorts and beaches, man. It's even here in California, believe it or not, is a busy, fast lane here. So I was staying busy, always something to do, and that always doesn't involve beaches and ski resorts. So sometimes, you know, it's just a lot of work that everybody else does. But I got to talk with him, share with him my testimony, my story, what God delivered me from, how God did it, and now where I'm at. And he said, what exactly do you do now? And I said, I'm on staff, full-time staff with with the church company, with the church called King's Chapel. And he was just like, what? He is just blown away. Sometimes I forget these things that are unbelievable at the time, but now believable. These little steps for me, sometimes I'm just reminded of how crazy that is. But it was really encouraging to talk to him. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go now. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to see what's happening with my media production here coming up over here in Antioch, California. So hope you guys are encouraged. Be blessed. Remember, obedience. Obey, obey, obey. And once you do that, then God starts to download what's next and what he wants you to do next, the next task. Remember, the next task is not going to be given to you until you make the first move, until you go to where God has called you. And on your way there, God will just press into your heart and he'll remind you, hey, call this person. Then he just starts downloading stuff into you. And it's an amazing thing. But hey, obedience, obedience, obedience. But anyways, guys, you guys be blessed. Have a great day. Just be prayed up in this new season. We'll talk to you guys later.